Let me show you how I built a table saw into our workbench and put a shelf underneath for the miter saw. So I had to start by measuring the widest part of the table saw, which would be the tabletop. Started by just basically centering it toward the end that I wanted to install it onto, and then get a pencil and basically just outline it. Here I was just squaring it up just to make sure it wasn't didn't have any crooked cuts at the back. Now I'm measuring the height. Basically, I need to build a shelf that will hold the table saw at a height where the table of the saw will be at or above slightly the work surface. And so with the outline, I just cut it with my circular saw, brace that last cut with something so it didn't fall off and hurt something or damage that, because I need to use that as the shelf. Here I just shimmed up the shelf using some scrap wood, and I got it to about where I wanted, and then I had to figure out how to get that thing to stay there. So it was kind of a think and build as you go. So here I figured I was about 7" from the bottom of the 2x4s on that part that I cut off. So I made some 7" scraps of 2x4, and then I just went from there. I had to do some pocket screws on these. I didn't want to toenail it and just start cracking the wood. So I have the good basic support here. So now I have to figure out how to get the back corners supported. So ended up where I just had enough to screw them on from the top, and then just created some more bracing so that the that part of the bench would not move while we were cutting. Here I had a piece of wood that kind of chipped off, so I had to basically splice in a new piece of plywood, and came out pretty good. As you saw there, I was able to stand on that thing. It was very sturdy. Now I'm going to push it in, and going to have to figure out how to get a shelf on the other end of the workbench so that we can put the miter bench underneath, and that way we have basically a saw station. And kind of an afterthought, I had to make sure I put that fence in there so it's movable. It's not 100% secured, and so looked like it's going to work out just fine. Alright, so I'm pretty happy about getting the table saw in there. Now I need to figure out how to get that miter saw underneath. I figured I'd put it on top of the bench and just kind of size it up and see where I wanted to come in from. Ended up coming in through the opposite end where the table saw was. And so I've got to get rid of that little brace in the middle. What I did eventually was remove it and doubled up on my 2x4. But I got a shelf in there and it worked out pretty good. Here I'm cutting off the little notches around the legs. And you can see there I eventually did cut off that piece coming down from the top, and that allowed me to slide it in from the end. So now I have a nice open section. Miter saw one in, I put it in sideways, but it clears enough to where we can put it anywhere in the workshop. And now it's good to go.